Caution, terrain. Terrain. Pull up.
Temperature 25. Viewpoint 23. Altimeter 287. Visual runway 27 in use. Landing and departing runway 27. Give our aircraft a direction of flight. All aircraft bring back full short instructions. Departing at 7. Visibility 10. Sky conditions view cloud at 1,600. Ceiling 3,200. Overcast. Temperature 25.
I'm ready for the checklist.
Altimeter 2872. Visual runway 27 in use. Landing and departing runway 27.
Oxygen.
Give our aircraft a direction of flight. All aircraft bring back full short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact gas Zulu.
Instrument transfer and display switches.
Airport information Zulu.
Check.
2018
Window heat.
Wind 0 second free gas
Check.
7.
Pressurization mode selector.
Sky conditions view cloud at 1,600. Ceiling 3,200.
Flight instruments.
Temperature 25. Viewpoint 23. Altimeter 2872. Visual runway 27 in use.
Heading
Landing and departing
257.
runway 27.
Altimeter 2872.
All aircraft
Heading
bring back
257. Altimeters 2872. Parking brake.
Set.
airport information.
Engine start levers.
018 Zulu.
Call out.
Pre-flight checklist complete.
Visibility.
Are you ready for the departure brief?
I'm ready for the brief.
Okay, we have no MEL issues today. I'll be the pilot flying. It'll be a standard takeoff. We'll be using noise abatement departure procedure 1. The departure will be an ATC assigned SID. We'll use flaps 5 for takeoff. Runway condition is dry. As for anti-ice, it's not required. Engine blades will be on. Regarding the takeoff brief, from brake release to 80 knots, I'll abandon the takeoff for any vital malfunction called by any flight deck crew member current, present, and awake. I'll call reject, confirm the auto brakes are operating and the speed brakes are deployed. If the auto brakes are not working, I'll apply maximum manual braking and maximum symmetrical reverse thrust and bring the aircraft to a complete stop on the runway. After the full stop on the runway, we will make a decision on any further actions. From 80 knots to V1, I'll only reject for 3 reasons: engine fire, engine failure, or a takeoff configuration warning horn. At and above V1, we'll bring the aircraft into the air. The only actions I need from you below 400 feet are for you to silence the bells and confirm the failures. Above 400 feet, I'll call for the failure action drills as required, and you'll perform the memory items. At 800 feet above field elevation, I'll call for altitude hold and retract the flaps on schedule while going to maximum continuous thrust on the operating engine. Passing through 1,500 feet, I'll call for the checklist. If we're above the maximum landing weight, we'll make a decision to perform an overweight landing as the situation requires. For wheel well, engine, or wing fire, after landing, I will turn the aircraft in such a way that the flames will be on the downwind side and will evacuate on the upwind side. For any cargo fire, make sure the emergency services do not open the cargo doors until the evacuation is complete. Any questions?
No questions.
Departure brief complete.
Alright guys, everyone's seated, we're all buttoned up and ready to go in the back.
Before start procedure.
Check. I'm ready for the checklist.
Before start checklist.
Flight deck door.
Checked.
Fuel.
Checked.
Passenger signs.
Checked.
Windows.
Locked.
Mode control panel.
V2157. Heading 272. Altitude 7000.
Takeoff speeds.
V1144. VR144. V2151.
CDU pre-flight.
Completed.
Rudder and aileron trim.
Set.
Taxi and takeoff briefing.
Completed.
Anti-collision light.
Checked.
Before start checklist, complete.
Cockpit to ground.
Go ahead.
We are ready for pushback and engine start.
Okay, Captain. All doors and hatches are closed and the bypass pin has been inserted. Please release brakes.
Brakes released.
Roger that. Pushing back. And you're cleared to start all engines.
Start sequence 2 then 1.
Check.
Start engine 2.
Starting number 2. Starter cutout.
Start engine 1.
Starting number 1.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board our flight today. This is the lead flight attendant speaking. Please direct your attention to the cabin crew for important safety information. There is an instruction card in your seat pocket that illustrates the safety equipment on this aircraft. Regulations require compliance with this information as well as all crew instructions, lighted information signs, and posted placards. Fasten your seatbelt by inserting the metal tip into the buckle. Tighten by pulling on the belt. To release your seatbelt, slip the
Okay, pushback is complete. Please set
It's
brakes.
your policy that you keep your seatbelt fastened at all times while seated.
Brake sets.
Doors aren't clearly
Thank you, Captain. And the tow bar and bypass pin have been removed. We'll see you on the right side with the pin.
Doors equipped with
Starter cutout.
You are clear to disconnect and go to hand signal.
Okay, everything looks good down here. Have a nice flight.
Lights will illuminate the aisle. The cabin is pressurized. If there is a loss of cabin pressure, a panel will open and oxygen masks will appear. Remain seated with your seatbelt
Clear with the
fastened
pin.
until a mask towards you starts the flow of oxygen. Oxygen will be flowing to the mask even though the bag may not inflate. Cover your nose and mouth with the mask. Place the elastic band around your head and tighten by
Flaps
pulling
5.
on the end.
Check.
Secure your own mask before assisting others. Your seat bottom cushion may be used as a flotation device and remove the cushions. Upon exiting the aircraft, place your arms around the cushion and hold onto the straps located on the back. This is a non-smoking flight. Smoking is not permitted in the cabin or lavatory. Cabin lights will now be turned off. Reading light buttons are located above your seat. Thank you for your attention.
Takeoff flaps set. I'm ready for the checklist.
Before taxi checklist.
Generators.
Check.
Probe heat.
Check.
Anti-ice.
Check.
Isolation valves.
Auto.
Engine starter switches.
Continuous.
Recall.
Check.
Auto brake.
RTO.
Engine start levers.
Idle detent.
Flight controls.
Check.
Ground equipment.
Clear.
Before taxi checklist complete.
Clear on the left.
We're clear on the right. Okay, thanks. Captain, the cabin's secure.
Before takeoff checklist.
Flaps.
Flaps 5. Green light.
Stabilizer trim.
Set.
Before takeoff checklist complete. Cabin crew, take your seats.
Runway entry procedure.
Check. Clear on the approach. Ready to go.
Takeoff.
Check. $80 knots.
Check.
Rotate. Positive right.
Bank angle.
Gear up.
Gear up. Gear up, lights out.
Select Command A.
Command A.
Select VNAV.
VNAV. Flaps up. Thousand to go. Transition altitude. Altimeters 2992. I'm ready for the checklist.
After takeoff checklist.
Engine bleeds. On. Packs. Auto. Landing gear. Up and off. Flaps. Up, no lights. After takeoff checklist. Complete.